Welcome to the Friday edition of One's World, and as my title suggests, we're coming up to Holy Week. Holy Week is the week from Sunday to Sunday, from Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday, and is fairly well documented in Mark's Gospel. But here's the interesting thing, is Mark's Gospel, which Luke and Matthew follow because they are basically following Mark in general, Mark's Gospel contrasts with John's Gospel, which does not have all of the things that Mark has. And what Mark is doing dramatically, if you like, is something similar to what I was talking about on Tuesday. That is, he's creating highs and lows in the week, and that's how we tend to experience it. So let me get started down that path. All right, so Holy Week begins with Palm Sunday, and Palm Sunday has lots and lots of wonderful traditions associated with it. Normally people get given a small palm frond on Palm Sunday if they come to church, and when I was a pastor I used to make people wave the palm frond around as they were singing their hymns. And you're supposed to take your palm frond home, and then you can make it into something decorative. And I'll see if I can show you here what they were doing in Cusco when I was in that region, because I wanted to go to Machu Picchu on my birthday, and it happened to be right around Palm Sunday. So I caught all the celebrations going on in the center of Cusco, which included weaving palm fronds into decorative items, crosses. The St. Bridget's cross is one of the most important ones. There are various others. I mean, people take them home and then they put them usually by a religious image of some sort, keep it for a year, and then what the church does on Ash Wednesday is burn the palm fronds from the previous year, so that during Lent we don't have any palm fronds. They return on Palm Sunday. So I mean, I live in a tropical area and there are palm trees all around me, so I always get a palm frond. I've got one up here, and I'll get one again for Sunday. They don't typically use palm fronds in Argentina on Palm Sunday, which is partly because they don't use them in Italy. Palm fronds are hard to come by in Rome and in northern Italy, so they use olive branches instead. And even though you can get palm fronds in Argentina, they tend to use olive branches, and they instead of calling it Palm Sunday, they call it Domingo del Ramos, the Sunday of branches. Whatever, what we've got to understand is that Palm Sunday is meant to be this joyous beginning of Jesus' ministry in Jerusalem. But we also need to understand that it's only modestly joyous because we know that something really, really bad is coming. So like Palm Sunday is all festive and celebratory and wonderful hymns and so forth. But it's kind of, I guess you think of it as sort of well, it's a real celebration, but it's not the celebration that we're going to have on Easter Sunday. It's a foretaste, but there's something really bad going to come. So that what's going to happen during this week is that things are going to reach a fever pitch, and they're going to get to the great crowning glory on Thursday, Maundy Thursday, when Jesus celebrates the Last Supper with his disciples and initiates the Lord's Supper of bread and wine, the communion. Like, so everything is reaching this high pitch, but we also know that the crucifixion is coming, and it's going to be a really low spot. So like highs and lows, right? We've got the high of Palm Sunday, perhaps even higher on Maundy Thursday than the Last Supper, and then the crucifixion and death and burial, and then the high of Easter Sunday. So it's important. In the Protestant tradition for a long time, we really didn't celebrate much in the way of ecclesiastical festivals, and certainly didn't celebrate Lent. As I mentioned in a previous video, like my Presbyterian pastor just argued that, you know, we're Puritans. we're always in Lent. There are no feast days. They're all fasting days. And as I explained last time, that's a mistake. As much of a mistake as having nothing but feasting all the time. If you don't have the highs and lows, if you don't have the contrasts, then you're missing an important sense of experience. So nowadays, more and more Protestant churches are moving in the direction of the Catholic and Episcopal ideas, not their doctrine, but just the idea that like fasting and feasting have their place, right? So this is a very strange, dramatic week, and I believe that it's not historical. John has a triumphal entry in his gospel, but it's at a completely different time. And Mark was not an eyewitness. Mark had oral history and maybe some written histories to rely on, but he was basically kind of making it up. I mean, I don't mean making up the stories. I mean making up the order of events, because he wanted to create a sense of drama, you know, a sense of a very beginning of the ministry, of being baptized, of just slowly gathering adherents. You know, first he gets a few disciples who become the apostles, but then he has a larger gathering and moderate success around Galilee and in his hometown area, but gets a much bigger following when he comes to Jerusalem. But it's an impermanent following. It's a following that enjoys his successes when he's preaching to the mob, but when he gets turned into the authorities, and they all turn against him, you know, and we know that experience of being, you know, way up in popularity and then falling way down. So it's sort of rather curious that right now, for various reasons, my academic popularity is suddenly going up and up and up, both in terms of university appointments and publications, for reasons I have no idea. But I understand that sense that there can be some times, you know, there have been times in my life, including in the last few years, when I've just been very dejected because I've sent materials to publisher after publisher after publisher and got back these very polite letters. Oh, your book is so well written, we really enjoyed it, but we don't think there's a market for it, so perhaps you can try another press. Over and over and over. I've got I think I've got about 100 or so rejections for every one of the books that I'm now under contract with. And there are 3 under contract. One's just come out, but 2 under contract and 1 just published. So that's 300 rejections in the course of maybe 4 or 5 years. Well, you can feel pretty down about that. It's like, what have I done wrong? You know, but then things turn around, and now I'm on a peak. So personally, it's highs and lows as well. So I can understand the highs and lows of Holy Week, of feeling like I'm being successful, and then all of a sudden things just turning against me, and then feeling like things have picked up again. So that's how Holy Week works. That's unpacking Holy Week itself. Next week I'll talk more specifically about the days in Holy Week, getting on to next Friday, which will be Good Friday, and I will talk about Good Friday then, and also about Easter Sunday. Until then, have a good weekend. Enjoy your time on this earth. I just, strangely enough, I just had a fascinating meeting with a dean of the Royal University here who wants me to help him with some things. And he said, unequivocally, he said, you know, we all die. So it's our duty to be as rich and as engaging as we possibly can, because this is our one time on earth, which is certainly a fair sentiment as far as I'm concerned. So take this weekend to do something that fosters your sense of your life on earth, and I will see you on Tuesday.